Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your monthly reading for May 2025. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and we're going to jump right in, Capricorn. If you are new to my channel, I'm going to give you your astrological overview. Then I'm going to do your spread. Then I'm going to break it down week by week. I'll pull more cards. I'll talk about other aspects that are happening that will impact you. And then, of course, the second spread. Now, I would like to formally welcome you to an incredibly historic, groundbreaking, era-making month. One that we have not seen in centuries, one that you or me or anybody on this planet right now has ever experienced. Yeah, it is a time of great change. It is a landmark month because Saturn is moving into Aries. So did you hear what I said? Saturn, your ruling planet, is moving into Aries. You are going to feel this. All right. Now, if you recall from my 2025 annual forecast I did for, you for Capricorn, I did say this year is the year of the Great Awakening. Well, here we are. I said it's the age of ascension, age of wisdom. Here we are. I mean, it's the year of the snake, shedding skin, transformation, the year of 9, end, completions, right? But also 9 is humanity too, okay? And you're seeing a big shift in humanity, right? That the conscious, everything, okay? The collective. And 9, it's really just preparing for 10, which is 2026, which is the year, right? But for now, remember to focus the big 4 themes of 2025, which you're going to feel starting now really greatly: community, the collective, consciousness, and courage, the 4 C's. All right. This is because all the planets are changing signs this year. I told you that, but the most important thing is the 4 outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are all changing signs in this compressed time frame that we have never seen before. Not only that, they're all moving into fire and air. Not only that, they're moving from feminine to masculine. Not only that, they're all aspecting. What, nobody's seen this. At 0 degrees, the world axis, the creation degree, okay? It's a critical degree of great change and new beginnings, the beginning of the beginning. I mean, we are literally leaving the age of Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius. That is all happening, okay? And this is why I have been harping on the fact that that big wave from mid-March that you felt carrying you through April, a month of intensity, has now brought you here. We are past that now. We're past that intensity. This brand new era that's about to start in your life, okay? One of the biggest ones that you're ever going to experience in your life. The third of those 4 outer planets that I just mentioned, your ruling planet, Saturn, changing signs, moving into Aries, the first time in 30 years. But joining Neptune in Aries, remember that happened, a month ago, a couple weeks ago? The first time in hundreds of years. So we have to consider this special. Everything that I just said. Just expect great change and great things and great new beginnings, okay? And please take a look at my live streams where I channel and I talk about predictions and I make predictions, and they're all 100% accurate at this point, right? But I talk about the geophysics affecting Earth. I talk about how the world is changing, and you see that happening. And you are part of the collective. So you play a part in this great shift, in this great awakening, and you're awakening. Therefore, you're having greater power. And like I said last week, how will you contribute to the collective, to society, to humanity, to your family, to your workplace? That's what it's all about right now. Now, in May, there's no oppositions, okay? Unlike last month, and only 2 squares. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. And remember, that's outside of the lunations, right? And the asteroids, those are planetary aspects. Now, I'll walk you through it. Now, the first 2 weeks, don't forget, we're in Taurus season. And that's very grounding. And you love that. First of all, spend time in nature that, to actually, like grounding, actual grounding. Put your feet in the grass to heal, to realign your frequencies, because we are in a fiery time where you are likely feeling amped up. You're ready to go. You're 20 steps ahead. You're feeling ambitious and tenacious, empowered and enthusiastic. All of that's running through your veins. Why? Because Mars, which is exalted in your sign Capricorn, is currently in Leo, in your 8th house of transformation and regeneration and death and rebirth and wealth, money. Yeah, you're seeing that play out. And relationships, by the way. Speaking of relationships, we have Venus and Aries all month. What? Venus, love, relationships, and money. So you see how relationships, love, and money is a big thing for you all month, okay? Underlying themes to a lot of the other big things that are happening. But hey, you just had that new moon in Taurus. And here's the thing. I dropped these forecasts. I'm going to do this like a week before May begins. So it's still to come for a lot of y'all if you're still watching. At that point, the new moon in Taurus at the end of April, that's kicking off May. So you'll feel the energies of that for the first 2 weeks. That happened in your 5th house, the house of pleasure and joy, the house of romance and true love and creative projects and family and children and procreation. A lot of y'all having babies because look at what's happening here with Saturn and Neptune in Aries for you. We'll talk about that later. Mercury will be in 3 signs this month. When was the last time you saw that? What I talk about this fast energy. Mercury's Hermes. He's really moving through this month. But the big news, Saturn moving into your sign the first time since 1996 or 1999. Think about what happened around that time, especially with home, family, even ancestry, even real estate. Did you move? Or make some big renovation, or maybe started doing something with property matters? Children, maybe you had children at that. Here's the thing. That is just pattern recognition. This is going to be different because Saturn is with Neptune, and that is history making. That's history making. Now, remember these. Oh, by the way, the blue asterisk. Remember the best aspects of the month. And if you are taking notes, just go ahead and circle the entire last week of May. Bonkers, just enormously auspicious, something that you've never seen before. It's just so much joy and progress, and there's so much happening, and we'll get there. Well, I'll tell you about it, but this is a month. It's one of the best months of 2025. Okay, June is also one of the best months. I've already told you this in your annual forecast, but June is also the luckiest month of 2025. And yeah, I'll leave you little breadcrumbs along the way, but your life is changing. Your life is changing after that big wave that brought you here. Okay. Again, your brand new era. There's great. I just want you to look forward to May. All right. I want you to be really, really excited. And because I still get comments, and I do have to mention this in every sign that I'm doing this week, okay, for your monthly forecast, is that I'm still getting a lot of comments about your sun and rising. I talked about this in one of my April live streams. You got to watch my live streams. Like a channel, I give you predictions, and you can see it in the title. It'll like the sun and rising. Okay. Because I'm still getting a lot of questions, and I covered it all there. You have to read your sun and rising because that completes your forecast. If you're reading just for your sun, you get 50% of the picture, okay? When you read your rising, that's the other 50%. And that's just how it's been for thousands of years, okay? It's when horoscopes came out in newspapers in the early 1900s. It was just, people just read for their sun sign, so our brains are kind of like, that's how we think now. But no, for thousands, it's been sun and rising. So I'll leave that video maybe at the end of this video in the description box, okay? Because there are even maybe in April you had you're just like, oh, nothing really resonated that much. I'm like, well, did you read your rising? Then everything makes sense, okay? And so again, that's your full horoscope, and yes, the moon, because a lot of you are asking about the moon. Yes, that is another layer, and that really amplifies. That's why I do the lunations in the second spread for the weekly forecast, okay? And I've told you that it's very often that the moon aspects, the lunations, are stronger than the planetary aspects. And so you do want to read for your moon. Of course, anything that I mentioned here about the moon, yeah, that'll have an impact on you, okay? But if you read it for your moon sign, if you know your birth chart, of course that's more specific to you, all right? So if you are Capricorn feeling emotional, if you are feeling emotionally charged or extreme, or even emotionally drained or burnout, or defensive, or your maternal side is kicking in and it's really strong, or there are things going on at home and family and loved ones and relationships, or really strong intuitive energy is just like, right? That's the moon. That's the moon. Okay. So May will have a lot of big lunations. You see that full moon in Scorpio. We're going to talk about that, Capricorn. Wow. Now, just remember, you're going to love May. A lot of special aspects for you. I'm looking at what's going on for you. I'm like, what? This is amazing. You're going to be communicative AF. And then I also want to remind you, life is a miracle, literally. All right. We have the uncanny, perfect conditions that make all of this happen, that make us alive. So please remember that. And please take advantage of all that the universe offers, especially in May, because life is full of opportunities and you're going to see a lot in May. And so I want you to make the most of it, okay? Use them. Now, let's kick it off. Friday, on the 2nd, you got Venus conjunct Neptune. I definitely will talk about this a lot more in your weekly forecast next week, okay? This is rare. We only get this pretty much once a year, and this is the first time it's happened in Aries. Therefore, nobody in 164 years, nobody has experienced this. And it's at 1 degree, which just happens to be the Aries degree. So you're going to really feel this, okay? What does that even mean? This for you? Well, it's moving the needle forward in terms of your personal goals, in terms of, remember, Aries rules your 4th house. So Venus conjuncting Neptune in Aries, that's your 4th house of home, family, children, your significant other, real estate, renovations, things. Home is where the heart is, right? So you really beautifying and thinking about, like, what do I want to do in the home space? And if not home and family, the foundations of your life. Mine's home. Okay. So even like grandparent, everything, ancestry, all of that. Okay. Really amplified. But this is taking action. Remember, it's an Aries, taking action for what brings you pleasure and what you desire. That's Venus, but also you throw in Neptune, that's compassion. And that's spirituality, ideals. What's the ideal home life, or what's the ideal foundations of my life? Neptune is imagination, creativity, intuition, spirituality, the arts. Venus and Neptune is a symphony. And I say that because little sister, big sister here, they both represent music. And sound, as you know, and I've said many times, is therapy. It's healing. It's literally vibrations. You're going to vibrate at this high frequency, and I really want you to feel this. And again, because you're watching this before we even get there, play music that moves your soul. You have no idea how that's going to move you around this time. Hemisync, I've talked about that in my live streams, okay? That's life-changing. Use it, kick out those gamma waves. And Venus and Neptune both represent creativity. Why is that a big deal? Because Mars is in Leo, and that is Leo's domain. So you have creativity triple amplified this day. And remember, it's a conjunction, so it's days before, it's a week after. Use this. There's something here in terms of your personal transformation. There's something here in terms of, again, home and family, but also wealth building. Okay. There's something big. And this is also, remember when I say creativity, just remember, yes, this is great for singers and artists and actors and dancers and writers, but what's the root of creativity? It's create. So create something wonderful. And this affects everybody, it could be, teachers and, just moms, grandmas. It didn't matter. This is all about world building. What is the world that you want to live in? What is the home life that you want to have? Neptune, and this bears repeating. I say this all the time to help you prepare. Neptune is visual. So visualize, vision boards. It's your vision. Visualize your goals, your finish line. Put yourself there. Visualize it. Put yourself on that timeline with confidence. It's Aries energy, right? Venus is money. You want money? Visualize it. Venus is love in relationships. You want love in relationships? Visualize it. you're going to put yourself on that timeline. And it's not just spirituality, visualization. I've told you this is literal science. It's neuroscience. That's it's true. It's like research has been done showing you that visualization creates new neural pathways in your brain. Use this. Create, plant seeds for your vision. It's an Aries at 1 degree. So right off the bat, you have this amazing portal of inspiration, passion, self-love, creativity. I love this for you. All right. So, oh my God. Okay. So one other thing for you, Capricorn, because you know I love you. So remember how I just talked about the lunations and the moon and how some, very often, to be honest, like very, very, very often, they have a lot of weight. This day, the moon, which rules Cancer, will be in Cancer. So 2 things for you, Capricorn. A, why is this a big deal? Well, the moon in Cancer will trine Venus, trine Saturn, sextile Uranus, trine Neptune, trine the North Node, your destiny, and sextile the South Node. So do you see? These lunations really matter. And now you've got the 3 most feminine planets, the moon, Venus, and Neptune, working in perfect harmony for you to get what you want. Now, what did I just say? The moon is in Cancer. Cancer rules your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and legal matters and one-on-one connections and marriage and all of that. So, you're going to really feel this, especially emotionally, and a lot of stuff that has to do with home and family and your loved ones. Now, if you are a cross watcher, and again, remember, we talk about that in the second story in the weekly forecast, but if you watch your rising and your moon, or your best friend or your husband, whoever, cardinal signs, that would be Aries, Cancer, Libra, and you. And I'm throwing in Taurus and Pisces. They're going to feel this the most. You're going to feel this the most, this aspect. If you know your birth chart, your natal chart, if you have any planets between 29 to 2 degrees in fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, oh yeah, you are going to feel this too. All right, now Sunday on the 4th, I like this. Pluto going retrograde. A lot of people freak out when they hear the word retrograde. No, this is good. Remember, Pluto does have that intensity, so Pluto will go retrograde until the 2nd. And what does that mean? When retrogrades happen, inward, right? So this is taking time for you for that deep inner growth, okay? Remember, transformation, which is Pluto, comes from within. And Pluto in Aquarius is in your 2nd house of self-worth and self-value and the things that you desire and the things that bring you value, okay? A lot of money stuff here too. It's all about your empowerment. So use it. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel the Pluto aspects. Yes, you're going to feel the Pluto aspects. But a lot of it still, it's going to be like something inside you feeling moved. Now, on Monday, May 5th, Mercury will sextile Jupiter. And I'm going to bring this up for you because, Jupiter this is the only Jupiter aspect we'll have all of May. Okay. And so Jupiter being good fortune, like it's luck, it's expansion. Yeah, wisdom, profit. It is amazing. Sextiles are windows of opportunity, as you know, and it's with Mercury. So what does this mean? It's really great for planning your future, how you can expand. It's a great time to plant seeds, right? In any direction, but it's happening in Gemini, right? Jupiter in Gemini with Mercury in Aries. So there's something here that you may be changing and wanting to expand when it comes to your daily activities, when it comes to your routines and lifestyle and health, as well as work. Work is a big thing here. Okay. There may be something here with like work home changes. But remember, it's an amazing aspect and it's Mercury. So it's something with contracts, maybe because it's in your 4th house, leases. Maybe there's something here with agreements, even travel, business, marketing, ideas, things like that. Okay. This is great. Now, Tuesday on May 6th, we do have Venus sextile Pluto. Great. Wonderful. Pick your favorite White Lotus character. Yeah. Venus sextile Pluto. We've already had this a couple times, but this is strong. This is really, really strong. This is all about power, sex, money, and secrets. Big. This is doubly so. There's got to be something here for money, with money for you, particularly Capricorn, because you have Venus, the planet of money, sextiling Pluto, a planet of like wealth, in your second house of salary and income and finances during Taurus season, which is a finance sign. So yeah, it really is money and relationships. Now, the 10th, we do have, and it's happening at a time. Listen, okay, so when we get to the 10th, you may have a lot of career on your mind anyway. And, you know, if you're not here for career, just your passions and the way that you want to be seen and your reputation. But when we get to the 10th, you have Mercury moving into Taurus. Great. You have the Sun and Mercury together for 2 weeks here. Yeah. This is good. This is that grounding energy. Very practical, pragmatic. You being a fellow Earth sign, this is really great for you. And so what does this even mean? This is you taking a step back to look at the big picture, to look at your path moving forward. Does this make sense? What are the next steps? What are the ways that I want to profit or have gains? It's all about planning, all right, for 2 weeks. And remember, Taurus does rule your 5th house of pleasure and joy and love and romance and children and family and, you know, having kids and recreation and procreation. Like, yeah. So really wonderful for y'all. Y'all are really thinking about a lot of stuff. And remember, I said Sun and Mercury together in Taurus. Well, don't forget Uranus is here too. So we'll talk about that in a second. Uranus is going to be really wildly active. But for now, how do you use these 2 weeks, Capricorn? Well, you ask yourself, what are the breakthrough goals that I want? What are the shakeups that I want for my personal revolution, evolution, and freedom? Okay? Now, here we are. On the 12th, we have a full moon in Scorpio. It's big. It's really, really, really big. Obviously, we will talk about it a lot more in your weekly forecast. Just don't forget, full moons are time for reflection, completion, introspection, and endings, culmination, turning points. Now, if you're new to astrology, the moon in Scorpio already has an intensity to it. Now you have a full moon in Scorpio. So there can be an intensity here. And for you, Capricorn, Scorpio does rule your 11th house. What does that mean? It means that it's very likely something is coming to an end or a turning point with a friendship or groups that you belong to, benefactor, allies, your community. It could even be like your LinkedIn community or social media. The 11th house is your hopes and wishes and future dreams as well. So there may be something here that is completely changing for you. Or, again, full moons illuminate. So something that you see for your long-term goals that you needed to see to have an adjustment. Why? Because the Sun will conjunct Uranus on the 17th. And it's a really strong conjunction. We have a Uranus Cazimi. And therefore, you're going to feel it days before, week after. And it will be opposite this full moon. Remember, I said oppositions only with like, you know, lunations and whatnot this month. Anyway, there may be some surprises and the unexpected. That's what Uranus is. Uranus is the great awakener. Okay. With home, with family. Okay. Maybe even like a loved ones, or even a female figure involved in your life. That could be a friend. It could be part of the community. There's just something here where it's like, maybe you have that breakthrough. Remember, it's all about your personal breakthrough. Yeah. When it comes to Uranus, you can use these aspects. I always say it, use the aspects. Don't let them use you. Either way, Capricorn, there is something inside you that it needs to come out. It needs to be revealed. Not only is it a full moon, which illuminates, it's a full moon in Scorpio, which is all about revealing. It's all about secrets. And even there's a hint and touch of like jealousy and things like that with this. So again, we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast. The other big thing here, there may be something with money because Scorpio, there is, money, but then also so is Taurus. We are in Taurus season. Mercury is in Taurus. We have a Uranus Kazemi in Taurus, the finance sign. So there just may be something here. Okay. Remember, we're also coming out of that new moon in Taurus that happened at the end of the month. So just keep that in mind. There just may be something here, but it is your caterpillar to butterfly moment. Remember, think of the death card. That's, in tarot, it's attributed to Scorpio, right? So again, this is all about transformation, your transformation. But the reason I'm harping on this is because you're going to be very communicative and you're going to have a lot of ideas, and your mind, especially with Mercury, the mind, right? Being in 3 signs all month, but you've got the North Node in Pisces in your 3rd house. That is communication. So there may be some things that you have to communicate. I actually want you to think about, it's activated. The North Node is activated during this full moon. I do want you to think about what happened November 1st and the 2 weeks following that, or even the entire month of last year, because it corresponds to this full moon. Okay, so the other thing that makes this full moon a little bit intense that we'll talk about in your weekly forecast is Mercury square Pluto. All right, so that brings extra intensity to an already intense full moon. And again, you can use this to have your breakthroughs. And I've talked, Pluto just, it can take Mercury's energies to extreme. Remember, I've talked about polarities. You want to avoid extremes. And just remember, stay frosty, be cool. This is a little bit of speed bump. That's all it is. Okay. And yes, this really now does bring a lot of themes of like self-worth, self-value, material possessions as well, and money. Okay. So there really may be something around money around here for you. But either way, just work with these energies. It's all about empowerment, okay? Because Mercury, first of all, you get over the speed bump 2 weeks from now, you will have Mercury trine Pluto. So you have something incredibly auspicious waiting for you when it has to do with money and self-worth and self-value and salary and things like that, and material possessions. But just go deep. Don't be afraid to go deep. Mercury square Pluto is the deep thinker. That's that energy, the powerful storyteller. Remember, you're going to be very communicative. It is like the psychologist, the intellectual. That's Mercury square Pluto. So it requires you to go deep. So go deep. It's a full moon. Don't be afraid to go deep. Yeah, that transformation. I have Mercury square Pluto in my birth chart. So I've worked with this my entire life. I'm living proof you can use this to benefit you, all right, in your favor. Now, if you watch for your rising, your moon, your sister, your bestie, whoever, your boss, fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, like me, if you're new to my channel, I am an Aquarius, you're going to feel this the most. And I'm going to give it a wider orb here. If you know your birth chart, if you have planets between 20 to 27 degrees, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Pisces. I'm throwing in Virgo and Pisces because of the North Node, South Node activations. You will feel this full moon. Now, here's the other thing. All right, so let's get to it. You got the Sun conjuncting Uranus. Okay, this is happening on the 17th, 18th, depending on where you live. Remember, with these aspects, a lot of them they do happen like around midnight, so it's just depending on where you live, but this is really big. One of the reasons why I talked about the moon will be in your sign when this happens. You'll feel this. So we'll talk about more in your weekly forecast, this aspect, all right? But when the Sun conjuncts Uranus, the chances of sudden unexpected change are very, 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 very high. Okay. Remember what I said. You can use this, use the aspects, don't let them use you. What is the breakthrough? What is the change that you want to make that is shaking up your routine? What are the things that were illuminated during that full moon that you were like, okay, I got to let this go? Because this aspect, of course, again, it's happening in Taurus in your 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, love. There can be a shakeup there. All right. Family, children, creativity, creative projects. There can be a shakeup there. But if you use this, if you shake things up as part of your destiny, because North Node's really involved, you're good. All right. You vibrate at the high frequency, you're good. You use this for the greater good, you're good. Remember, change is the only constant in this world. So be open, flexible, open-minded. You're going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. All right. This is going to be a big shakeup. We'll talk about more. And one of the reasons why it's going to be really strong, it's not just that. Mercury will square Mars. So that's the second square. Okay. And don't forget, Mars is in Leo in your 8th house. So that can get really deep. And again, there's something there with like your personal transformation and partnerships. Taurus and Aquarius will feel fixed signs. We're going to feel this for Taurus and Aquarius and all the fixed signs. But if you have planets 24 to 29 degrees in fixed signs, that would be Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo, and Pisces and Virgo, you will feel it the most. If you have planets between 0 to 5 degrees of Aquarius or Aries, you'll feel it the most. Now, what else here? Do you hear the ice cream man? Maybe that's a sign. Oh, by the way, not on the whiteboard. Yeah, Jupiter will square into the North Node and the South Node too. Your everyday activities, your routines, work, things like that are changing. We'll talk about it in your weekly. Now, you've got the 20th, the Sun and Gemini. We're in Gemini season. This is big. Why? Because you're going to be very communicative. This is very like, I took a short trip that changed my perspective, gave me a light bulb moment, or it changed my life, because that is Gemini season. Or I've had the most stimulating conversations, or the best job interviews, or, you know, like that's the vibe for the next 4 weeks. And there's going to be a really big emphasis on your lifestyle, your routines, your daily routines, health, maybe communication with doctors, physical therapists, personal trainers, or even vets. 6th house is, does rule pets. But the biggest thing for you, Capricorn, is work. Okay. Colleagues, employees, bosses, things like that. All right. Gemini season is very stimulating, intellectually, mentally, but also like physically. Like you want to move, you want to do things. Like, yeah. So really great. A lot of family energy as well. All right. So don't forget that Jupiter is in Gemini too. You've got the Sun and Jupiter both in Gemini. Jupiter expands. Plant those seeds by any type of communication. Texts, emails, conversations, learning new things, starting businesses. That's all Gemini season. Be social. Okay. And remember, it's all leading up to what's happening in June, the luckiest month. You have I'm excited to tell you about June. Now, you see the sun sextiling Saturn too. That's absolutely amazing. I love this because it just seems like there's something here that you're being rewarded. And I'm just going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you now, Capricorn, because Saturn is a ruler. So remember, Saturn is limitations and restrictions and make things like, life lessons and makes you do the work. This month, Saturn is going really easy on you, okay? So there's something happening here all month, actually, where Saturn is just rewarding you. And I would not be surprised if it is a contract or an agreement or a new business that you launch, or do you know what I mean? Like things like that. Something with family, something with travel, something with siblings, even neighbors, okay? 22nd, you have Venus trine Mars. Again, we've had this a couple of times. This is going to be really, really big for you, all right? Venus, think about what happens when Venus Mars gets together, okay? So that, if you're here for that, and money and creative projects really highlighted. We'll talk about in your weekly forecast. The sun will sextile Neptune. That's not on the whiteboard. We'll talk about that. That's big because it just is. It's happening right when we get to the 24th, 25th, depending on where you live. Saturn, your ruling planet, moving into Aries. Now, this is the first time, like I said, that Saturn's been in Aries since the 90s. He's here until September with Neptune, 4 months. So what does this mean? Saturn will go back to Aries February 2026 for its permanent station, okay, for a few years. So what does this mean? Okay, and you know Neptune's here for 14 years in Aries. It means from this point until September, you're getting a window. You're getting a glimpse of what your life is going to be like starting February 2026 and beyond. You take, it's Aries. They're in Aries, so you take that action. And I am going to do a separate live stream on Saturn and Neptune together in Aries. I did one on Neptune in Aries. Please watch that video to get an idea of what you can expect in your life and how to use this, okay? Because Neptune and Aries, again, nobody on this planet has experienced. It's been 164 years. And so you're going through a lot of energies you've never have. And now that you have Saturn with Neptune, I'm going to do a separate video. I'm going to tell you, listen, Saturn's a ruling planet. You get Saturn. That Saturn makes you who you are. And so I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to tell you why. Capricorn. Well, first, let me tell you the sheer magnitude of this moment. Saturn conjuncting Neptune in Aries has only happened 7 times in modern human history. Think of the thousands and thousands of years that we've been, like, March 1703 was the last time we had Saturn and Neptune with Aries in Aries. The first time that we can trace back was 593 BC. I'm sure Saturn and Neptune were together in Aries before that, but we're looking at modern human history. Now, this is going to be important. When I say they're together, they're conjuncting, remember, I said this in your annual forecast. They're at a house party. They're on the dance floor. Yeah? They're grooving. They're dancing to Tori Amos. But they haven't met. Okay? So they're vibing together, but they haven't met yet. They meet February 2026. And not only do they meet at 0 degrees. So that is a Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees, the beginning at the beginning, the creation degree, the great reset, right? That we've never experienced ever. I haven't found a day. I mean, again, I'm sure it's happened maybe 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago. But we're talking about modern human history. So remember, February 2026, put yourself on the timeline. You create your reality. And you would know this best, Capricorn. Saturn's a ruling planet. Saturn is reality. I always say, with some of those, challenging Saturn aspects, those reality checks. Yeah. So this is big, huge. What's happening now for the summer? Big. And this is why I talked about that 0 degree axis, right? Where all the planets were passing over into Aries from mid-March, that big wave, all right? And things are just easier for you anyway. Mars in Cancer was not easy for you. Mars retrograde in Cancer was not easy for you, Capricorn. So I want you to get really excited about how your life is about to change in this really, really, really big way. And remember, you put yourself now, work on it through the summer. Where do you want to be by February 2026? Make it happen. And remember, Saturn and Neptune together in Aries, again, that is the foundations of your life. You and nobody else. That's what Aries represents for you, okay? The family, home, real estate, property matters, children. A lot of y'all having children. A lot of y'all, you're setting yourself up. Or grandkids. Remember, it can be extended. Yeah, you get it. Okay, ancestry, things like that. Okay, grandparents, things like that. Anyway, your lover, things like that. I'll do a separate video. Now, here's the thing. Since the dinosaurs roamed the earth, Capricorn. I have told you Saturn is authority. He's the taskmaster, discipline, boundaries, limitations, restrictions, life lessons, karma. Yeah, he's karma. So you work with his rules and you learn your lessons. You pass the test, you move on to, the next cycle. And Saturn brings you that structure, stability, the long-term growth and gains for your goals and your commitments, long-term commitments. You're rewarded. All right. There are no shortcuts with Saturn. You got to work with him. Okay. And what did I say? Saturn is being easy on you. And Saturn's your ruling planet. You get him. That's why Capricorns are known to be the hardest workers and often prioritize work. Okay. Because of Saturn. And so the reason why this is... okay. After everything that I just told you, everything's falling off. After everything that I just told you with what's happening on this day and through this summer, it's not just Saturn moving into Aries with Neptune. It is Saturn and Neptune now sextiling Uranus and Pluto, which you're going to feel greatly. It's happening now, but you're going to feel it greatly over the summer starting in June. And remember, sextiles are windows of opportunity. So Saturn normally does not make life easy for you. Saturn normally doesn't give you handouts like this. So that's why I say you, Capricorn, are going to have fun with this. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. This is hitting everything. Like when you get to summer, like work is like work and your everyday activities and money. Oh, wow. Wealth building, all of that. Okay. Great for you. And here's the catch. Okay. Saturn is moving into Aries, the planet of I am, right? So that's good. That's a self-starter. That's self-sufficiency, entrepreneur, leadership, pioneering spirit and consciousness. Here's the thing. Aries. Aries is, let's go. Let's do it. I'm ready. Aries can be impulsive. Aries can be rebellious. Saturn's like, no. It's all about working hard for mastery of self is what Saturn in Aries is, but my way, right? And it's the long way. And Saturn will be here for, a couple years, 3 years. Yeah. So this is very Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Okay. And that's all I want you to know over the summer. All right. You cannot go to that karate tournament because you got bullied. You don't know how to do karate. And you haven't had Saturn and Neptune together ever in your life. And so that's all it is. Saturn's saying, okay, we're going to do this. You got to learn. You got to do this. Wax on, wax off. Okay. Even if there's that impulsive, like, no, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now with that Aries energy, which is, very competitive and very action oriented. Yeah. But again, work with Saturn's rules, and you're going to be fine. All right. He brings that structured experience. He grounds you in reality. Remember, Neptune's your dream. So Saturn's making your dreams become reality, but within his rules. All right. So you can be assertive. You can be goal driven, all of that. It's just like you can't plant a seed and expect a tree the next day. That's all it is. All right. It's almost like I don't even have to tell you this because, Saturn is your ruling planet. But just remember, life lessons, slow and steady wins a race. It is hit the ground running. Not running, actually. It's not hit the ground running. It's hit the ground power walking. All right. We'll talk about more in your weekly forecast. I see the time. Just remember, you create your reality. Why do you think people say life is what you make it? They've been saying it for thousands of years. That's why I always say you create your reality. And it can't be any more apt than now because Saturn is reality. Okay? So take action. As above, so below. Let me look at the... Okay, so, so the sun will trine Pluto, as you can see. Amazing. Money, money, money. money, money, money for you. Yeah. We'll talk about your weekly. Mercury conjunct Uranus. That is absolutely amazing. There's something really big here. I wouldn't be surprised if some of y'all get married. Some of y'all have big breakthroughs in work, in finances, in family, in true love, in creative projects. This is Mercury conjunct Uranus. Happens once a year. You could have big breakthrough ideas as well. And then you see Mercury does move into Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. This is absolutely amazing. And it's in its domicile. Your communication off the charts. There's a lot of like craving stimulation. You're going to likely be thinking about starting a side hustle, side gig, or a new job, or bringing in on new employees, or there's a lot of work stuff. And then you see Mercury will sextile Saturn in Aries, 0 degrees. So I told you Saturn's going to make life easy for you. And this is happening right when we have the new moon in Gemini on the 26th, 27th, depending on where you live. One of the best new moons of the year because it's conjuncting Mercury and trining Pluto, sextiling Neptune and Saturn. Mercury sextiling Saturn. I mean, what? Big. So again, I would not be surprised if a lot of y'all, just do something new. That's it. That's all it is. All right. With work, with your everyday activities, with health. But also, I would not be surprised if a lot of y'all move, sign a lease, do something here. Listen, Mercury is contracts and agreements. Like I said, look at how active Mercury is. Okay. So plant seeds. One of the best new moons. Take a trip. You got the North Node in your third house. Take a trip. Okay. And take one. Actually, I'm looking at what's going on for y'all Capricorns. A lot of y'all are. We'll talk about this more in your weekly forecast, but you see that Mercury will trine Pluto too. Hello. Is there some new project or business or something that you're launching that, again, with money? And again, if you're not here for money, Pluto integrates is, self-worth, self-value, or material possessions, you getting something, but you're impressing VIPs at this point. All right, let's see what's going on for you. Okay. Capricorn for May 2025, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know. Listen, let me do the clock. Let me see what time it is. Okay. So Capricorn, let me pay attention. Okay. Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is going on? You saw that card flip over. There's a lot of cards that have been trying to like jump out, but also I think that I'm trying to, okay, let me just slow down. Capricorn. How are y'all doing? Capricorn, y'all crack me up. Oh my goodness, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thanks so much for being here. I do a traditional cult across spread, offers the best overview. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Secondly, Capricorn, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. And you see the King of Swords pop, flipped over. So we're taking that as a sign. And how funny. King of Swords. What did I say about a lot of y'all signing contracts or having really big conversations that move the needle forward, having that important Zoom call, big ideas coming through, big breakthrough ideas, big decisions you're going to make too, but that's a lot of power. Let's get started. Oh, damn. Oh, you're good. You're good. AF. Okay. Wow. There's definitely some things you're going to have to let go, but let's get started. You got the Two of Swords. So moving into the month of May, you got a big decision to make and you know it. Okay. And I want you to feel it. All right. May's going to be a very cerebral month where you're going to be in your head a lot, Capricorn. All right. So prepare as you go into May, be in touch with your intuition. We all have intuition. You know that. What makes a difference is connecting with it. That's why I say, please spend time in nature. Get an earthing mat. You can see the one that I use. I have it in my description box if you want to see if you're inside, but there you go. there's something you're sitting on with career. And there's something you're likely sitting on with some sort of relationship partner. It can be love too, but I'm getting more career stuff. And I just, listen, you've got, and if you're not here for career, just your passions. What do you feel deep down in your bones? And when I say that, you see that her back is turned to the moon and the sea. So don't turn your back on your intuition and your emotions. Get comfortable, go within to the point where you're comfortable taking off that blindfold so you can see the next steps, right? It all starts with going within. Remember, I said you got that beautiful portal with Venus conjuncting Neptune right off the bat. Use it, all right? Use it. Those swords are going to get heavy, so you may, you got to use it. And everything will start coming together, and you're going to be so happy that you did, because you got the King of Cups and the heart of your spread. Yeah, you're the leader. You got, all this Aries energy, cardinal sign. You're a cardinal sign. Listen, you're good. You're good. You're great. Remember, this is a monthly forecast. This is someone who's on top of his emotions. This is someone who is like the rock for other people. Okay? The leader. He's a big leader. He leads with his heart too. That's vibrating at this high frequency. Remember, I've always talked about heart-based living. I'm going to show you something. Look at the choppy water, right? It didn't matter. His throne on top of that water. He's the king. No, nothing's going to knock him off that throne. That's what happens when you are on top of your emotions. You're like a rock. And people feel your frequency. A lot of creative energy too. Remember I said for you, like creativity, it's just going to be off the charts. Use it. All right. And when I say being creative in terms of like problem solving, is there something you've been stuck on? Think in a different way. Yeah. Put on some music, feel it in your soul, and pay attention to the full moon. Okay. That's happening on the 12th in Scorpio, because the King of Cups is Scorpio. Now, you got justice in your challenge area. When I talked about partnerships earlier, there may be something here. All right. And to be honest, there may be the ending of something with a partnership or a relationship or a marriage. But you got to do what you have to do. You have to do what makes you happy. And I'm not saying that listen, I'm looking at what's going on for you. You've got the South Node in your 9th house anyway. And the 9th house, remember, South Node is letting go, and the South Node is going to be very active this month. And the 9th house also has to do with like legal matters, the courts, even second marriage. There could be activity around there. But you have a judge here, okay, in your challenge area. So there may be something here where you have to really look at it in a way where what is going to serve me best, but let's compromise and let me open up these, portals of communication rather than holding things in. Okay? Be your authentic self. And remember, this is a month of communication anyway. And you saw the King of Swords pop out. Yeah? That is having so much power in communication. That is, nobody can hide anything from you. Okay? He is the only king that looks directly at you. He's got nothing to hide at all, and no one can hide. He can be intimidating, but he is ready to strike whenever he needs to. Okay? That's you. That's you. And this is the universe telling you to be that person too. Okay? Diplomatically, of course, but anyway, the other thing is there just may be something here. Remember, justice is attributed to karma. You have Saturn, your ruling planet, attributed to karma. One of the reasons why people don't... Justice is also attributed to Libra. Now, not a lot of people know this. Saturn may be your ruler, and Aquarius is ruler. Y'all share Saturn, right? Saturn happens to be exalted in Libra. Not a lot of people know that. All right? So that's why Saturn, karma, justice, Libra, karma. You see what's happening here. So again, all it's saying is let's do the right thing. When we trust our intuition, use that sword. Okay. You have the King of Swords here. Use that sword to cut anything you don't need in your life, okay? Or even just to initiate, okay? It's all about seeing eye to eye and you know, as I say, actions have consequences, right? But inaction have consequences too. When justice is in your town's area, you do have the 4 of Wands in your crown. So there could be some marriage and partnerships on your mind. There could be something that you're thinking about as well in terms of like milestones. Happy, wonderful things happening in May. I told you, put yourself on that timeline. It is a card to celebrate. It's like the huzzah card. Yeah. But remember what I said about freeing yourself, how Uranus is going to be very active this month. Free yourself. Free yourself. It's all about your personal freedom. They're outside the castle for a reason. And this card, believe it or not, attributed to Venus and Aries. Remember, you got Venus and Aries, but now Saturn and Neptune and Aries too in your 4th house. This is a very domestic card, like home, family, all right? Your significant other, the foundations of your life. So just keep that in mind, all right? Even, yeah, Venus is the heart. Queen of Pentacles, you got your card. She is Capricorn. Love it. And the root of your spread, feel it. She's the richest queen. And so remember what I talk about, like wealth building. It's going to be a big thing for you, as well as just you going through this personal evolution. All right. And this can be even like, you know, Pentacles are your physical reality. So again, even if you're not here for money, this is, what did I say from the very beginning? What is the world that you want to live in? Because she has the resources to build the world that she wants to live in. Visualize it, okay? And plant those seeds. There's growth that you're going to be feeling this entire month. I'm going to show you something. You see that bunny rabbit in the corner? Fertility, growth. The lucky bunny. Listen, you're good. Like, you're great. She has a maternal side too. Really strong. So she thinks about others. But the thing about the Queen of Pentacles is that she's a doer, and she takes care of the people in her life. And again, very like home related. So again, build a world that you want to visualize it. Okay. Visualize it and build a world that you want to live in. You're going to have opportunities. You see that here. Just don't get stuck, because not only is you got the Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn, you got the Devil, which is Capricorn. You know, this card is attributed to you, right? Capricorn, right? So this is in your future. And remember what I said about partnerships and relationships. It's like bonkers, off the charts here. It can be career. It can be love. It can be one-on-one. But you do see the two people from the Lover's card, right? This card is 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Lover's card is 6. The two people from the Lover's card chained to the Devil. Yeah. And so this card is you know, doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. It's obsession, it's addictions, it's codependency, it's bad behaviors, it's pessimistic thinking. It's that devil energy. The devil is just taking away your energy. He's like an energy vampire. And so it's also like it's just, you know, just again, knowing that there's some things you've got to let go. Now, look at them chained to the devil, right? The two people, the chains are loose, so they can break free. You can break free anytime you want. It seems like there's going to be something tempting you, like, hey, come over here to this side, right? In the future, it's in your future, but this is your chance to break free. What did I say? It's all about freedom this month, freeing yourself. You got Uranus very active, okay? And in order to break free from those chains, you got to know what those chains are. What do you need to break free from? That's going to clear a path. Because that is Capricorn, right? This card, Saturn being your ruler. Therefore, Saturn is strongly associated here. And Saturn is moving into Aries in your 4th house. So you have a lot of home, family, foundations of your life, loved ones, all of that really strong here. Partnerships, relationships, but even work matters, even with like the Wands and the Pentacles, right? Like we have jobs to make money. So for a lot of y'all, it could be that. What is it? Identify it. Are you in a toxic relationship? Yeah? Do you have a toxic boss that you're like, I can't do this anymore, so let me change things where I'm happy. Let me have conversations I need to have. Okay? Let's get to your stuff. You got a lot of power. That King of Swords, that is honestly the universe saying, like, listen, like, Capricorn, above all, you got a lot of power in words, in communication, and thinking as well. But with great power comes great responsibility. If you like this reading, Capricorn, be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, tell me what's going on. And you know I love y'all. All right, so yeah, you're good. Don't listen. As long as you take that action and apply, and you gotta make the change. You got some change to make, but you're good. You got the 3 of Wands. I love that. Go forth. Do it. You want to. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go into the next cycle, whatever you want. The sky's the limit. You see, it's all sky here. Go do it. You want it. This is saying you want it. So 3 is a vibration of the Empress. 1 + 2 = new reality. And you create your reality. This is all about meeting new people and doing new things and going, starting a business, whatever you want to do, but all in the name of like the self-discovery and freeing myself. He is leaving his village to explore. What did I tell you about travel? A lot of y'all are going to be traveling. It's going to be really good for you if you do. You got the 8 of Wands. This is in your external factors area. This is great enthusiasm. This is great movement. There's a lot that's going to move really fast for you this month. You see all the wands just zipping through the air, but pay close attention. They're all aligning. So everything is aligning for you. You got to take that action, but everything is aligning for you this month. Wonderful. So wands, your passions, your ambitions, they're, invigorating. They are creativity, but they're also work related if you are here for work. And we do call the wands, the arrows of love as well. If you're here for love, things are going to be moving pretty fast for you. I love that. Queen of Swords, you got the pair. Okay. So use that. It's everything that's happening here is saying that that's what you want to do anyway. Okay. Queen of Swords is all about fairness, is all about the truth, true perception, being honest with yourself. Also, nobody can hide anything from the Queen of Swords, and she's gone through some things. Okay. So when I look at what's going on here, like, yeah, you want to change things. You want things to be right. The Queen of Swords is very much like the Justice card, all in the name of truth and fairness, being honest with yourself. And she has a lot of power and authority, and she leads with her head, just like the King of Swords here. Okay. King of Swords is very public facing. Okay. Queen of Swords is, more intimate, maybe family, maybe your town, whatever it is, but you add the two together. It's a powerhouse because it's what you want. Yeah, the King of Wands, you're fine, you're good. And your final outcome, you do that work. And remember, I talked about doing some shadow work, especially with the devil in your future, not being afraid to go deep and unroot things. King of Wands, there you go. Not only is the King of Wands the entrepreneur, it's also like epitome of passion. Your passions, what are your passions? There you go. You're going to be sitting on that throne. Feeling good, restless too. Like, yeah, I got it. So much is happening. And this is a card of true transformation. This is a card. You see the Ouroboros in his throne. You see the salamander at his feet. Medieval times, they thought salamanders were fireproof. They could live through fire, but change, great change. You're good. You're moving into a place where you're becoming a huge Leader because you got 3 kings. Who gets 3 kings? Anyway, you're good. So yeah, just go toward your passions. You're gonna be sitting in that throne. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And by the way, the King of Wands is Leo. Remember, you do have Mars and Leo all month in your 8th house of great transformation. Okay? So really big. Really good. And wealth building and money and wealth. All right, let's break it down week by week. Let me see the time. Oh gosh, okay. So Capricorn, the first week, you know that Venus is conjuncting Neptune. You know that Pluto's going retrograde. Mercury sextile Jupiter. Let's see what's going on for you for the first week of May. Yeah, the Queen of Wands. Oh my goodness, you and your queens and your kings and all. Look, you got 3 queens. Yeah, well, listen, you got all this power. Use it. Queen of Wands can get whatever she wants. And if you are a cross watcher, it is so funny how I've been telling every sign, like, oh gosh, if you're a cross watcher, you've seen the Queen of Wands come out in pretty much every. This is someone who can attract whatever she wants because she is so charismatic. She's also very regal. That she's very, very charismatic. People gravitate toward her. She knows how the law of attraction works. She gets whatever she wants. That's the Queen of Wands. Look at the black cat. She's done the shadow work. Life is easy for her. She's in control. Sunflower in her hand. Sunflowers in her throne. The ones that you see in the actual sun card. So she has the powers of the sun too, which is optimism. It's growth. It's opportunities. You got him. Okay. Right from the get-go, the first week. All right. Now, and the Queen of Wands, a lot of really big sexual energy with the Queen of Wands. And remember, you have a lot of that happening anyway. Out of all the signs, the most. Because you're in Taurus season, you have all this stuff happening in Taurus in your 5th house, procreation and sex. And then you have it Mars and Leo in your 8th house, which has to do with partnerships. But the 8th house is known as intimate relationships and sex too. So anyway, a lot of y'all are having babies. That's why I'm telling you that. If you want it, or grandkids in your family, or second week is big. Okay, that's when we have the full moon in Scorpio and the Uranus Cazimi. Let's see what's going on for you, Capricorn, for the second week of May. Okay, there you go. The 2 of Wands. Okay, you and all your wands. So that's the thing. All right, by the second week, let's start planning. I'm still wearing, I don't know if you can see, I have I had that injury. I'm still wearing a back brace. Anyway, if by the second week, just plan. There's going to be changes. You're still at the top. Okay. You're still at the top of your castle. Okay. The second week, you got the world in your hand. What do you want next? Think about the medieval times. You just won the biggest war of the century. The biggest one. Okay? That was you. It's over. Now what? What do you do after you win a big war? So take that time to plan where do you want to be by February 2026. And then take action. Okay? You're gonna anyway. With that 3 of Wands, you got the 2 Wands, 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands. Whoa. So let's see what's going on for you for the third week. Okay, third week is, we pretty much enter Gemini season. And there's a lot of other stuff happening. Third week for Capricorn. Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm using the wrong... What is going on? I guess this is a sign. So, okay, this is a good point. Because if you are a tier 3 member, right? Really good and legendary member, with your second spreads, obviously I pull cards, but one of the reasons why I do it is because if the same card, because I use different decks, if the same card from different decks, and that's over 170 cards, if the same card pops up, the universe is really telling you something. Okay. And that is something, it's the biggest takeaway. You got the devil. Again, You got your card again. You got the card where it's like, okay, there's going to be something that I've got to let go. There's going to be something that I've got to recognize is not serving me well. And if I don't, it's going to be harder for me to get out of that. Okay? Use this moment. And with the full moon in Scorpio, it does bring up like jealousy and obsessions and it's just things like that. Like I already told you that, but that's crazy. That's insane. Do you want me to do? Let me do another one. Let me just do one for. I'm sorry. Let me do one for the third week for you, just to. But that's what we do in the bonus spreads. Okay, I pull cards from different decks and see if there's any overlap, and there usually is. And I do. Yes. Sometimes if these go over, I do clarifiers in the second spread from your main, if we have time. Third week, 9 of Wands. Wow. All right. So that's just basically saying, hang in there. You're good. You're not letting anything or anyone take away anything that you're passionate about or that you worked hard for. Doesn't matter. You're telling the world, listen, hey, I got this. Now, fourth week, new moon in Gemini, and then the big Saturn and Neptune in Aries. For Capricorn, you got the Five of Pentacles. There's going to be some change. All right? There's going to be some change. Especially if you do not let things go that you need to. And it's all because, especially the devil popping up twice. So what does this mean? Well, the biggest thing is partnerships, relationships. Something's holding you back or someone's holding you back. You ask yourself, where? Is it work? Is it home? Is it the gym? Is it the doctor's office? Where? I've got to make that change. Okay? That Five of Pentacles coming up. And yeah, it can be something with finances, like I said. That's going to be an area of focus for you. What do you want to change? Because it's your second house of self-worth and self-value. Clarifying that. You make that change. You let go what you need to because that's what's holding you back that I'm picking up on. You're good. You're absolutely good. And the last thing I'm going to tell you, I know this is really long. Remember I said with Uranus, Kazemi, that can shake things up. And so let's say like your department is cut or do you know what I mean? Like things like that. And maybe something happens where you're let go. Don't see that. Remember what I said, the last week of May is insane and June is the luckiest month. So see it as a sign that wasn't part of my path. That was, right? You let that go. You got that Ace of Cups. We call this the tears of joy. Yeah. You even see the strings, they look like tears of joy. So think about the last time something brought you so much joy, it brought you to tears. Having a baby, getting your dream job, getting married, getting proposed to, whatever it is. You're having it the last week. Okay? You got to and Ace is new beginnings, new opportunities, new cycles, cups, emotions, feelings, relationships. Anything that you want, having a baby, whatever you want. You're having it. You're good. That brings you that. You're absolutely good. You have so much power. You have 3 queens, right? You have the Queen of Wands. Is it? You do have 3 queens, or you have 2 queens? No, you have 3 queens. You have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords, and you have 3 kings: the King of Wands, the King of Swords, and the King of Cups. You got the 8 of Wands too. You got the Ace of Cups. But remember, that devil coming out, that's so funny. I didn't mean to, but that's a big sign. All right. Capricorn, thanks so much. If you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. And yeah, the second spread, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna look at love. We're gonna look at career. We'll look at yeah. All right. So tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. We have so much fun. Next week, we'll go deeper in the aspects. I think that you officially have the longest reading, but you see by the way, you see what this month is going to be like for you. So you've got to make that change. There are changes you have to make. And everything aligns. You're amazing. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Next week, Capricorn. Bye-bye.